my mind is open to new ideas. The Spirit is ever active in me. The Divine Mind is inexhaustible. There is no weary or monotonous action in Spirit. It is forever new and vibrant, fresh with ideas. I know that I am continuously receiving new impressions from life, new, better and fuller ways of living. I let the newness, freshness, and originality of Spirit permeate my entire consciousness. sense my oneness with all life. The power which creates and sustains everything is now creating everything necessary to my happiness. There is one mind. This mind is God. This mind is my mind now. I am conscious of infinite peace, divine joy, and complete security. My affairs are in keeping of infinite wisdom. I am guided by divine intelligence. The activity of spirit inspires my mind and flows through my actions. Life lies open to me, rich, full, and abundant. And so it is.
Good morning, CSL. I'm Debbie Little, and I'm so excited to let you know that we have filmed all the July Wednesday services here at Discovery Park in Henderson on relationships. So join me this Wednesday at 7 p.m. online. Now, go back to the service.
This is Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. Before we begin this celebration service, let's all join in and sing our opening song together.
Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Name your price, ticket to paradise. I can't take it anymore. I've looked high and low. I've been shore to shore to shore. If there's a shortcut, I'd have found it. But there's no easy way around it. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. When you feel afraid, love one another. When you've lost your way, love one another. When you're all alone, love one another. When you're far from home, love. We got to love. We got to love. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer.
What a beautiful Sunday morning. Love is the answer, and you are a light in this world. I'm Richard Houston, a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. And it is my pleasure to be here with you as we experience this uplifting celebration service together. Throughout the service, if you feel a need for prayer, a prayer and a blessing for you, a family member, or a friend, then please go to our website and select our prayer request. Prayer and meditation are two very powerful spiritual traditions here in our community. Know that licensed spiritual practitioners are deeply committed to supporting you through your prayer. We are here for you. Please feel free to call on us. As a matter of fact, even as I speak, 2 practitioners are providing spiritual support right now for you, for me, for our entire community. They are holding us in deep spiritual loving care from their homes by sitting in meditation during this service. We thank Kelly Marshall and Lynn Frankenberger for holding high watch for each one of us today. And now, let us take a moment to consider this week's affirmation. You may wish to jot it down or take a picture of it and keep it with you as a source of inspiration throughout the week. I'll read the affirmation and then we'll enter into contemplation together, after which I will give the invocation. I celebrate the we, which is intimately one with itself. I celebrate the we, which is intimately one with itself.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
So as we come together in the oneness, we just breathe into this moment. For we know that we are all one. We're one with the infinite. We are one with each other. And in this moment, we just come together in the joy, the beauty of life, the experience of life itself. We are joyful for this service, for this time together, and for the beautiful unfolding of all that is. We are blessed. And together we say, and so it is.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Good morning. CSL Greater Las Vegas. Karen Drucker coming to you this morning. How are ya? I got a great quote for you. Some of us think holding on makes us strong, but sometimes what makes us strong is letting go. Love that. All of my life I've been fighting to push away the pain and the fear. I gotta say the cure was enlightening when it all came clear. Here's your part if you want to sing with me. Lean into it, gotta let it go. Lean into it, oh no. Lean into it. Now I know I can relax just a little bit when I lean into it. Used to be afraid to be tender. I hardened my heart to the grief. Never understood that surrender offers sweet relief. Lean into it, gotta let it go. Lean into it. Lean into it. Now I know I can relax opposite of what this world's insisting. Gotta fight or fall apart. When I melt into whatever I'm resisting, I can feel it open up my heart. Lean into it, let it go. Lean into it. Oh, I'm gonna lean into it now. 'Cause now I know I can relax just a little bit now. Lean into it, let it go. Lean into it, oh, lean into it. Now I know I can relax just a little bit. I can relax just a little bit now. I can relax just a little bit when I lean into it. I'm gonna lean in just a little bit now. Yeah. I'm gonna lean into judgment. I'm gonna lean into that fear. I'm gonna lean, whatever it is that's going on for me, I'm gonna listen and go. Gonna lean in, don't run away. I won't run away. I'm gonna open my heart, just lean in. When the road gets rocky, I'm gonna lean in, just gonna lean. Just lean into it. Just lean in, yeah. Surrender, let go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas' Sunday morning celebration service. I'm Reverend Laura Hallett, and it is such a joy to be back here with you again today. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who is joining us live this morning, and to every one of you who is tuning in later to watch the rebroadcast of this service on our YouTube channel. You are all so welcome, and we are so happy to have you here with us. We broadcast our Sunday and Wednesday services on YouTube, as well as having some wonderful spiritual moments for you to enjoy throughout your week. We have some great short meditations by our practitioners. And then we have this musical inspiration we call Spiritual Soundscape, provided by our music ministry. And then we have some other uplifting moments for you to help get your spiritual nourishment to keep you uplifted throughout the week. I encourage you to please take some time and explore what we have to offer on our YouTube channel. I like to start off each week with gratitude. It's one of my favorite things to do. So first off, to our media, music, and marketing team, Triple M's, of Joe Blom, Justin Vogel, and Kelly Marshall. These three amazing individuals bring all of their skills and talents into providing us with these beautiful and professional quality services each week. Between the videoing and the music and the slides and all of the advertisements that go into letting you know when and where to find them, we are truly, truly blessed, and we could not do this without them. So thank you very much. And I'd like to thank our musical artist of the week, Karen Drucker, who's back here with us again. We always love to have Karen back. And I also want to thank the rest of our music ministry, Melissa Allen, David Valala, Mackenzie Amar, and several other guest artists who support our services each week. You truly provide that musical inspiration for us. And I'd like to thank our practitioners who are here in service with us today. We have Richard Houston, who brought us that beautiful meditation first thing this morning, and then the invocation just to set the tone and center us into our time together. And sitting high watch for us this week are Kelly Marshall and Lynn Frankenberger. And of course, I would like to thank our Leadership Council and all of the many volunteers who keep our center running. We are truly blessed by the contributions of all of these beloved individuals. Thank you for your service. For the month of July here at Center for Spiritual Living, we are talking about relationships. Last week, we looked at our primary relationship, the one we have with ourselves. And we talked about how even though we're in relationship with ourselves, and it seems like it's an individual thing, we are not completely independent. In fact, we are at all times interdependent. We are interdependent with that indwelling presence, the spirit, love, intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it. That is constantly with us. We never are separate from it. And of course, we are in relationship with everything and everyone around us. There is no way that we can be totally independent, for we are continuously interdependent. You know, I like to anchor my talks each week with one of our basic principles, or our core concepts, as we call them. And so for this month, we are working with one of the statements from our Declaration of Principles written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. We believe in the individualization of spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. This means that we believe that spirit is fully immersed, embedded, totally connected with us individually. And that the very same thing is in every other form of creation, every other individual person, everything that's ever existed. Each one of those is fully spirit in action, and yet is individual in nature. You know, we often talk about this is unity without uniformity. This is spirit being individualized perfectly as each one of us, as each form of creation. It is that perfect and unique representation of spirit here to allow spirit to experience this realm in this way. So this week, our focus is on the relationships we have with the friends and our families and our community. Now, this includes those people that we know personally, those who are in our inner circle, those who are some kind of casual acquaintances, our work relationships, our social relationships that we have with groups, people that we belong in other groups with. And it's also our relationship to those that we would refer to as strangers. People that we don't know, the people that we encounter for the first time. You know, how we relate to each stranger we encounter, whether it's through a nod, a wave, or eye contact, is an opportunity for us to build relationships, to make connections, and to build community. And truly, that's what we're here about, is building community. You know, even when we may never see them again, by our paths crossing, our lives and theirs have been changed. And how we approach these encounters reveals more about us than it ever does about them. What may begin as us wondering about another shifts into being in wonder and being in awe about just how wonderful it is to be in relationship with another. Even if that relationship lasts just long enough for you to hold the door open for them, or to make eye contact as you pass on a sidewalk. When we begin to look at people in a different way, we begin to see the wonder that's available in all of these connections. You know, whenever I think about these ideas of being in relationship with others, I'm reminded of a line from a poem written by Edgar Guest in the early 1900s. The entirety of the poem is beautiful, and it speaks clearly to this idea of how we relate to strangers. But it's this one line that always stays with me. For you seldom hate a fellow when you know him very well. For you seldom hate a fellow when you know him very well. I recently read about a fabulous program out of Denmark called the Human Library. This is an international nonprofit organization. It's been around for about 20 years now. And they have what they call human books. Now, these are people that you can check out if you wish, to have a conversation with. You can listen to them tell their stories, describe their lives, talk about the various experiences they've had, and how they have had to deal with some of the challenges that they've moved through in their lives. The Human Library is, in the true sense of the word, a library of people. This organization hosts events where readers, people who come to the library, can borrow human beings who are willing to serve as an open book. And they have conversations they would not normally have access to. Every human book on their bookshelf represents a group in society that is often subjected to some form of prejudice or discrimination, often because of their lifestyle, their belief system, their religions. Maybe it might be a diagnosis or disability that they have. It could be their social status or their ethnic origins, or it could be people who are doing work that is different and unique and people don't really understand it. But they allow themselves to be checked out so that other people can experience what it's like in their lives. You know, what an amazing opportunity that is to get to know someone in a way that lets you see their individualized essence. It lets us look past the stereotypes, the prejudices, the preconceived ideas we have about them, and allows us to see the true individualized spirit in them. I would love for us to have this human library experience after we open our new building. I think it's something that we're going to put on the agenda to make happen in our community, because I think it's a valuable part of our world is to get to understand people in a way that we've never understood them before. For you seldom hate a fellow when you know him very well. You know, one of the things our organization has been known for since its early inception is that we are individuals, these individualized incarnations of the one life. And there has been a sense in our movement that it was only about our own individual personal growth and transformation. You know, in Science of Mind, we learn these spiritual practices and principles, and then we use them to affect change in our lives, our own individual lives. So this idea is fundamental in the growth of our organization in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. It was what brought people to us and what made our movement so strong and so powerful. People came to us whose lives were less than ideal, less than what they wanted, and they found a way to practice these principles of Science of Mind in a way that created change in their lives. And it brought about a new experience for them. It brought about that freedom that I was talking about last week in a way that people had never felt it before. It was powerful, and it's what really strengthened our movements over the years. I know for myself, when I came here in the early 2000s and I heard that phrase, change your thinking, change your life, I felt something shift within me. My life wasn't bad. I actually had a great life. But something woke up inside of me when I heard that singular phrase, change your thinking, change your life. And I knew it was more about my own individual work. I could no longer attribute any of the situations or the circumstances in my life to something outside of myself. I knew it was within me to allow this to change, and it was something that I needed to do on my own work. You know, since the turn of the century, since we've entered into this last 2 decades, we have, as an organization, been shifting our focus away from the individual and more toward the collective good. Many of the ideas that we taught and practiced in our early years have become mainstream concepts. You can read about them in almost any self-help book you pick up. You can see them on the TV, on talk shows, on sitcoms. I even saw one in my favorite crime drama the other day. In the last decade, we have really moved away from the individual growth and exploration into creating a world that works for everyone. And I think we have something unique to offer to the world using our Science of Mind principles to create this world that works for everyone in all of creation. That's our global vision. That's where we're striving and working towards. Prior to this, I believe our focus was more on creating a world that works for me, for each one of us individually. But with this global vision and the knowledge that we do not exist in isolation, we are affecting change in a way that transcends any one individual life. We are now looking at ideas of social justice, of inclusivity, and of diversity. We are no longer tolerating the injustices that we see around us, but we are speaking out against them. And I believe that this evolution of Centers for Spiritual Living is the thing that is going to keep us relevant as a movement in the coming years. There's still this great idea of the rugged individualism and all of the paradigms that cause us to believe and live as if it's only about what we do individually in this teaching that matters. Many people really believe that Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, has nothing to do with changing the world, only changing our individual lives. People talk about it when we go to the conventions. It often gets brought up on some of our communications that we receive from other people. It's causing people to feel a little bit disturbed, a little bit like, I don't really want to do that part. I want to just work on myself. But we don't live in isolation. We are totally interdependent upon the world around us. It is no longer that we can just look at ourselves. We need to begin to shift and look at the global world. This paradigm of individualism is outdated, and it's ineffective if we are going to create a world that works for all. If it was solely about our individual selves, we would not need to gather in our spiritual communities. We could do this work in isolation. We could be content to remain in our own individual islands of consciousness. In a practical sense, we understand our interdependence with others. Since most of us do not go about making our own clothes or growing our own food, we go to others to provide our medical care, our services to our vehicles and homes. We are often interdependent with people in our world on a daily basis. But we are called to take a more active role in what is happening in the world around us. Sometimes it begins with the injustices that we see in our own neighborhoods, or the ones that show up in our own lives. The things that directly impact us and show up are a call to be more engaged in the larger arena of life, to no longer be content to only focus on ourselves and changing our own lives, but to look at how our interdependence shapes the world around us too. One of the best ways that we can affect change in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our state, our country, our world, is to engage in some kind of service to others. There is a very strong reason that sacred service is one of our 5 key practices. Because when we engage in service to others, we are able to step out of our own lives and see life from a new perspective. Service to others provides an opportunity for us to see people, to get to know people, to understand what's happening in their lives, and release some of the judgment and fear and concerns we have about these other people in our lives. And there really is something so wonderful, some kind of internalized experience, not really sure what it is, but I felt it, that happens within our own being when we are in sacred service. It uplifts us, it takes us out of our problems, and it removes us from the smallness of our own individual lives. Sacred service is a blessing to those people who engage in it, as much as it is a blessing to the people that we serve. I love this saying from Tagore. I have it on a little magnet on my refrigerator. It goes, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. It's very easy to feel overwhelmed with the conditions of our world. And we have many, many ways to engage in the world that exist around our centers, around our homes and our neighborhoods. One of the things that Centers for Spiritual Living does in the fall is a World Day of Service. It's an opportunity to become an active part of service in your community. And we haven't been able to do it for the last couple of years. So I'm looking forward to that for this coming fall, is to find a way that we can be in service to our community. We have done this in the past, and things are opening up from the pandemic. It may take a little while. We may not be able to do it in the next few months, but I can see us beginning to get back engaged with our community, the larger community. Perhaps this is something we'll be able to start again in the new year. There are ways in which communities can be engaged that are limitless. We can find all kinds of ways, all kinds of organizations that we can participate in. There is nothing better to get out of the trouble that we are experiencing in our life than to volunteer and be of service to somebody else. You know, we can even challenge ourselves to reach out and be of service to those who we may be holding some kind of judgment about. If we have something that we think, oh, I don't want to be around those people, that's probably a call for us to engage in some kind of sacred service so that we can begin to have a deeper understanding of these folks. The moment that we really understand that everyone is an individualized expression of God, it calls us into a deeper understanding and a practice of how we relate to each and every expression of this one. It calls us to a greater compassion, and it calls us to develop a more convicted practice of the things that we know will help move us into a deeper connection with other people around us. A world that works for all requires a level of consciousness that has never existed before, because the world that we live in now has never before existed as it does now. Never before have so many people on the planet had the news, the mass information, and an abundance of social connections readily available on all of our different devices, our computers, our iPads, our smartphones. We carry these things around with us daily, and we can have the opportunity to be totally connected at all times. But this oversaturation of media has never been before, and if we are to manifest a new world that works for everyone, we then must also evolve into a new consciousness. A consciousness that calls us to deeper levels of connection, in-person connection, and connection via technology. In this world where the pandemic has pushed us further and further apart physically, we can come together digitally in creative and powerful ways. We've seen it happen over the last 3 years. We've seen amazing experiences happen when we came together online or through different types of social media than we have ever seen before. It really pushed us to that next evolution in our use of technology. You know, today we are called to connect with others in new and powerful ways, to communicate, collaborate, and cooperate with others in wonderful and meaningful ways that nurture, empower, recognize, and engage ourselves with one another because of this unconditional, immutable, irrefutable, and irresistible power of love. I'd like to close this talk today with one of the things that, from a Science of Mind textbook that I really love. The back of the textbook, if you've never explored it, there are, 50 or 60 pages of meditations written by Ernest Holmes. They're found in the last few pages of the book, just before the glossary. There's several of them in there that speak to our topic of relationships for this month. But I'd like to read one of them to you. It's called I See No Evil. I see no evil. I behold only the good. I have seen the drunkard lying in the gutter, and I have seen the saint kneeling in ecstasy before the high altar of faith. But I have found no difference. I have perceived that each, in their own tongue, is seeking to express the one life. I will not separate and divide. I cannot condemn nor censure, for I know that there is but one in all. I know that all came from the one, and all will return to the one. I know that all are now in the one, and that each one is seeking to express the one. I know and love all. So as we go about our week, I invite you to remember that we are in relationship with all of the various people in our lives. We're in relationship with the beloved pets who share our homes. We're in relationship with our homes themselves, with our communities, with the nature around us, with everything we encounter in this being human at this time. And so I encourage you to look past the otherness and find the commonalities, the shared humanity, or the shared essence of the divine that indwells each and every form of creation. Look beyond the surface and find the hidden treasure of truth in everything and everyone you encounter. And so now, if you would, please join with me in prayer. And so just taking that moment and becoming still. I sense and feel that indwelling presence. I know it is the very heart of my being. It is the truth of who I am. It is the truth of all life. I know that nothing exists outside of this one, for it is the allness and the fullness and the wholeness of all creation. And because I know this is true, I know that I am inseparably one with it, that there is no place where I start and it stops, or it stops and I start. That it is a seamless, deep connection, that every cell of my being is fully immersed in that divine essence. Because I know this is true for me, I know this is true for all creation, that each one of us is that perfect emanation of the one, endowed with that love, that peace, that understanding. That deep at the heart of our being, there is a place of compassion. A place where we seek to see the truth in everyone. And from this place, I know love is unfolding itself into our experience. I know that there is no sense of stranger when we see only the one. And when we learn to see the one as something other than ourselves, we open ourselves to a deeper connection with each person we encounter, a deeper understanding of who and what they are, and a deeper experience of life overall. I believe that this is why each one of us is incarnated here at this time, to experience the magnificence of the divine in all of its wondrous forms. And I just give great thanks for this knowing. I'm so grateful to see it in action, to feel it happening in my lives, to know it is happening in the lives of everyone I meet. And so I release this word into the law. Knowing it is done, I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Here at Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas, we are a mission and vision-driven community. We offer transformative educational opportunities, deep and meaningful moments of connection, uplifting Wednesday and Sunday services. We greatly appreciate your contributions that support the amazing work we're doing here in Southern Nevada. We have several easy ways you can contribute. We have text to give. Simply text the amount of your donation to our text to give number and you'll be prompted to enter your information. There's a link to our online donation page posted below this video where you can contribute by debit or credit card. And of course, you're always welcome to send a check to our office if that works better for you. All of your contributions go to support the great work that we're doing here in Greater Las Vegas community.
Okay, For your offering song today, I want you to get up and dance around. Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's the whole thing. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. Here's your magic wand. Sing with me now. God is my source. It says you can sing. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. All right, let's declare some joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Let's talk about peace is my source. Peace is my power. Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. All right, what about love now? Let's do love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything, everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Everything. Let's go back to God now. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything, everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, everything I need. Do it again now. God is my source. God is my power. Put your hands together. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything, everything that I need. God is my source. God is my source. God's my power. Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives my source. God is my source. God gives me everything, everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything, everything that I need. God gives me everything. When I don't know what to do, God gives me everything, everything I need. Everything.
Thank you, Karen. You always inspire and uplift us with your talent. And thank you for your generous gift in support of our center. We remain committed to serving you. Center for Spiritual Living Greater Las Vegas continues to provide enriching services, transformative classes, and powerful opportunities for connection within our community. Be sure to watch the announcements at the end of today's service for what's coming up in this week ahead. Now, let's join together in a closing song before our benediction.
I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. As I'm letting go, God's revealed and I am whole. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. As I'm letting go, God's revealed and I am whole. All right, stand up, shake it out, let this move through you. It's been a while, let's do it. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only in for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only in for God.
close this morning, I'd just like to remind you of a few special announcements. Our next in-person service is August 21st. It's a Sunday, a third Sunday of the month. We will be holding it at our new building. The address is 4080 East Russell Road here in Las Vegas. We encourage you to bring a chair with you. We have some chairs, but if you have a folding chair, lawn chair, beach chair, one of those things that it's easy for you to bring with you, please do so. We anticipate that it'll still be nice and cool at 9 o'clock in the morning, and so we're going to hold it then. And there was such a wonderful energy that we had when we did our new building blessing that we want to continue that and allow that energy to build into this new community we are building together. And so I invite you to come and join us on August 21st. This month we have a couple of fabulous workshops. We have one that is all about relationships. It is probably the best tool I've ever found for understanding relationships I have with other people and understanding how I relate and how I show up in those relationships. If you've not experienced the Enneagram, then I encourage you to come and join us online on July 30th with, it's a Saturday, with Dr. Melissa Felipe and Reverend Z.A. Gloff as they present their Enneagram experience. They have a unique twist for it. It's one I've never experienced before, but I think it's a fabulous way of getting a deep and clear understanding of the characteristics of who I am and the characteristics of the people that I'm in relationship with. Because once we begin to understand that, then we begin to lessen some of our judgment around the experiences that we're having. And so it's a really, really great tool. And then we also have on July 17th, Kelly Marshall is presenting a new version of the Vision Board Workshop with some added twist to it. It's really going to be an exciting experience. That one's going to be held in person at the Enterprise Library on Las Vegas Boulevard. So check out our website, our e-blast, newsletters, and so forth for information. You can register online and join us for those experiences. It's going to be great. So we're looking at continuing to do in-person services, and we will keep you posted on the updates on that as we move on through into the fall. So I encourage you to all have a beautiful and blessed week. Remember that every person you meet is an opportunity for you to experience the divine in a deeper way. And so take advantage of it, folks. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
The monthly publication, Science of Mind magazine, is a treasure to be read and contemplated. Along with in-depth articles, there is a day-to-day spiritual support to be gleaned from its daily guides. Licensed practitioner Lynn Frankenberger hosts Adventures in Faith every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and you're invited to join in. This is a weekly group discussion that focuses on those daily guides and how to apply them. Check Facebook and our weekly newsletter for more details. CSL Greater Las Vegas brings you much of your favorite spiritual music every Friday at 7 p.m. with Spiritual Soundscapes. Enjoy performances from CSLGLV vocalists along with special guest singers. It's music for your soul. Subscribe to the CSLGLV YouTube channel to get a convenient link sent to you for each musical performance. At CSL Greater Las Vegas, it is our mission to inspire spiritual discovery through community connection, exploration, and celebration. This mission supports the all-inclusive vision of Centers for Spiritual Living worldwide, in which we envision a world that works for everyone and all of creation.